I'll try my best. Yeah, try my best. Cause oh yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, good. All right, everyone. Before we begin, I would like to mention some rules here. Probably some of you already know, but I would like to remind again for the newcomers. First, always turn off your or mute your microphone. And then if you would like to show your opinion, please show the raise hand button and wait until the moderator allow you to speak. And it is better if you speak for about 5 minutes maximum, so we could be able give another participant time to show their opinion as well. And if you have something to ask or debate or showing your disagreement with other participant, of course you can re-raise your hand again. And I hope you can be very active. No need to fret for the grammatical error, for the limited vocabulary, or you're feeling that you're not fluently enough for speaking English. That's totally okay, because here it's a safe place to learn English. We all learn, even me actually. So don't worry about it. Just be comfortable, be active, and um, just speak your mind. As long as you're not offend any private feel or something sensitive about individual principle. I think other than that, it's all good. So everyone, I would like to introduce you. We have Mr. Eki here. Mr. Eki, can you please say hi to everyone?
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hi. And thank you so much for being here and for willing to be our moderator, Mr. Eki. It's very honor, especially for me. Especially you also bringing up the fresh topic in OTA, and I hope the discussion is going very well. I think I would like to give it to you, Mr. Eki. Please, time is yours.
Okay, Mrs. Sophie. Thank you for having me in this discussion. And first, I would like to greet all of us again. Like, how was your days, guys? Is it good? Is it bad? Should I mention the name? Like, again, how was your day, Miss Mariama? Are you there? Okay, let's move to Miss Egalita. I saw you many times, Miss Egalita.
Yes, Mr. Eki. Yeah, thank you. I'm good. Yeah, I'm active in this discussion session because I'm interested to discussion because there are so have many very interesting topic.
Well, that's really great. And let's move to Miss Miss Ira, if I'm not mistaken, Miss Ira. How was your day?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. How about you?
Oh, mine also great. It sounds super excited. I
Uh,
love that.
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And let's go with the boys. How was your days, boys? Daddy, Mr. Daddy.
I'm good and I'm feeling all right. I keep repeating that phrase. How are you?
Yeah, same here, I guess. But it's quite fun because I enjoy my days. So we have like seven, isn't it? Seven? Yep, seven. So should we start it? Anyway, if you want to open your camera, it's completely fine. So I'm not feeling alone. I mean, I'm not feeling lonely because somehow this is like the first time I showing my face to people. I mean, I'm not too confident at this point. So if you want to like open your camera, okay, then let's move to how does our brain shape reality? And to be honest, this is quite a difficult topic to discuss, especially for us who doesn't have a lots of information regarding this kind of thing. They never teach us in school. Okay, hang on. Something come to my ears. There's something come to my ears. Hang on. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, the first question is, should we believe in our memory? Mr. Daddy, could you put your opinion on this? Do you believe in your memory?
Should we believe in our memory? The definition of belief itself should be clear enough. What does it mean by believing? If I say that believing means that I acknowledge the fact that the memory I have was something that I experienced, then yes, I will believe the memory that I have, because if I define the memory itself, it's the all experience and activities that I've done so far in the past. So it become factual. That's the reason why it becomes to be a belief or something that is factually believed.
So,
So that's it.
yeah, that's completely good. I mean, that's good because you believe in the thing that you already experienced in the past, regardless it is really happen or not. Yeah.
That's why I'm here to know.
Because again, knowing the thing that is happen or not, with dividing the influence of feelings and rationality is quite difficult. So here we're going to discuss about this. But before we're going to discuss about this, I need to know about everyone's opinion on this one specific question. So how about you, Miss Eka? Do you believe in your memory?
Because I'm 50, of course, there is many process in my life, like in my when I'm little, I'm teenager, and when I'm young adult, and after married, of course. And it's not about I believe or not, but in every phases is there is a different kind of process. Yeah, so like when I'm little or I'm like in the kindergarten, I was so active, and so yeah, the kids how they are dealing with life, right? And then compared to my 50, of course there is some many adjustment, yeah. And I don't know what to call it's belief or not, but sometimes I have to separate it, yeah. This is my childhood, this is my ya apa masa remaja itu apa sih teen ya, teenagers ya, and this is where I am in the my a process, maybe the end of my process, yeah. Then sometimes in my age I'm more similar to my parent, yeah. That's all.
So you believe in your memory, but you divide it into several categories.
Yeah,
Make
that's
sure.
like because in when you are 50, I said to my father also that why you look different, right? And then he said, you will know when you're 50. Yeah, he's right.
Can I confirm something? Look different in terms of what? The appearance or
Different to when dealing with life, yeah, because we almost done with our process, like we are bringing our child, they are after they become young adult, and then we almost finish that our tasking, and then we are entered to some process in life that difficult, yeah, for people in my age, because you are like in your future, right? And then you are in like your end life, something like that. Maybe you cannot imagine because you are still young. Because when I'm in your age, I also see world, and um it's like I want to enter to something that I didn't knew, right? And it's so very apa sih, curiosity, something like that. But when you are in the future, you have almost done everything, and you will, yeah, like I said, we have to divide it our process. That's all. Yeah, and then you can try to enjoy your end of process, because you have to adjust too many apa ya, many changes in your life, yeah, all mostly in your end of life. You will be more spiritual, something like that, or you will be more realistic, like you said. You have to see the something, it's like the way they are done, deceive. Don't let yourself to deceive, something like that. It's very wise for a young man like yours. Yeah.
Thank you for a wonderful explanation regarding your experience, Miss Egalita. You've been through lots of things in life comparing to me at this point. And I want to ask Miss Sophie, did you ever being deluded or confused about the thing that has happened in your past, and then you can confuse whether this is true or not?
That's very interesting question, Mr. Ake, because as far as I can remember, I think I got. You mean delusional? Is that
Yeah,
what you mean?
delusional.
Yeah, I think I most of my childhood being delusional. Like, little did I know when I grown up, it called identity crisis. That sometimes I think, and I believe with what I'm thinking, that all all the people in the world are just acting, and I'm the only human, the real human here. And there is one time they will be like, hey, surprise, this is not the life that you are, that you what is that you are doing. The real life is in our side, which is behind your back. So we're just acting here. So my mom is not my real mom, my friend is not the real human. That's that's what I'm thinking, and I do believe it. So sometimes I just like sitting in my class and watching people sing that, no, 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 you're not real, no, you're not real, you're faking. Think good act. I'm not falling down with your fakeness. That's what I'm thinking.
It was so much fun to experience that, thinking,
Yeah.
putting yourself as the main character. I wish I can
Mm,
have it in the past, but yeah, I don't. Because I am the one who always think that I am the
mhm,
NPC or non-play characters.
mhm, mm. I see.
But it is really interesting, since
Thank you.
yeah, because this is the first time I heard someone's had this kind of way of thinking, even in the early
Thank you.
age. And that's really
Aw,
amazing.
thank you.
And then what about Mr. Rusley? You just joined, isn't it? Hi, Miss Rusley. Hello. Knock knock. Okay, well, oh yeah, Mr. Fahri. Hi. Uh, Oh, there's no response. I'm gonna cry. Okay, let's move into Mr. Muhammad Iqbal Tawakal Nur.
Hello.
Hi. Oh yeah, hi.
Oh,
How
okay.
yeah. How was your days?
Yeah, everything was running well. Thank you very much for asking.
And also thank you for joining this conversation. And tonight we discussed about the how does we shape our reality and how we anticipate those events that has happened in the past, whether it is a true or it is false. And can I ask you something? Did
Yeah,
you
sure.
did you ever rewrite your memory because some things happen and you need to lie about it?
What kind of rewrite do you
Basically,
mean? Like,
you lie about something, and then you rewrite your memory as in this is the actual thing that is happening.
I guess yes, because I love writing on sometimes like I try to make a conclusion about my life in some article or yeah, something like that. So yeah. I try to recall what I have passed in my life by making as a content or writing.
Oh yeah, got it. Then when you reread again, I mean, after you wrote everything on your note and then you read it again, did you found something strange or everything is according to what you experienced?
Uh, if I like get back to the past and after like I wrote after I read after like I wrote that and tried to read that again, I realized something that every things that I have done or every situation that I have passed, it's connected. It's either. So yeah, I'm curious, like how could it be my brain try to yeah, to guide me to realize that things that it's kind of like a dot. Our life, it's kind of like a dot, like which is connecting each other.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's really great. And thank you anyway for putting your opinion on this. And then I want to
Okay.
ask Mr. Yanua. Yanua isn't so I'm so sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Hi.
Hello there.
Oh yeah. Hi, Mister. I have one question to you. Do you mind to answering?
I think don't have answer for this moment.
Well,
Just pay attention for the
oh yeah. The
such
question
question.
is, the question is, when you lie about something, did you create a fake scenario that is only happened in your mind to convince people that is the truth?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
So every humans we done a lie. I mean, we told a lie in the past, one or two, all of us, because we are humans, right? Lying as in lie could help us sometimes. And then the question is, when you lie about something,
Okay.
yeah, did you ever try to make a fake scenario that is only happened in your mind to convince people the story is true because you already imagine the fake scenario? Did you ever try to imagine it, or you never lie in your life?
Yeah, I've ever drawn a lie in my life. Since I faced the condition that the condition is not too ideal for me, I'm just try to convince myself, just to convince myself to make the to meet the people sure about my opinion. I just try not to manipulate the others what happened in my life at that moment. So just to try about to I just try to convince the people. So that's the moment. I've never tried to manipulate the others when I've faced the unideal condition when when I must done with my professionalism just like that. So I just make just to make the people convinced about me, just like that. Well, just
Alright,
enough.
thank you, Mr. Yanua. And then let's go back to
Never
a
mind.
question again. The first question. Should we believe in our memory even though we already lied about several things? And then we created a fake scenario. For example, if my mom asked me, did I steal the money from my dad's wallets? And then I answer, I don't. And then my mom asked me, could you tell me what are you doing what are you doing yesterday in the brief explanation. And then I tried to explain like in early morning I wake up and then I do some stuff, blah blah blah, even though I did steal it, but I created a fake memories in my mind to convince my mom. And then the question is, the thing that I create in my mind, it is indeed real and happening in my mind, but to people, it has not happened. It is a lie. And then the question is, what will happen if I lied? And then my mom believed it, and then everyone else believed it. And then is it these things became reality or not? Mr. You changed your name, Demas.
Yeah, that's what people address me by, so I'll go with Demas. I still believe my memory because the way that everyone explained and you did, that when we lied, we lied, absolutely. We created scenarios that we want people to understand, but it doesn't shape the reality of ours. It doesn't change the fact that what really happened was the factual condition that we experienced. So that, for me itself, the lie that I speak, the lie that I told to people, that it wasn't a memory that I consider as something that I notice as factual. It was just a lie. I created a scenario where it didn't really happen so that it didn't become a memory. Sometimes I lied what I was lying about. I even forgot what I lied to people. I think I'm because I'm too I'm lying too much that I forgot what I lied about. But the thing is that I want to differentiate between the lies and the memories, because if we see, yeah, well, we create a memory of lying, that's absolutely understandable. But what I want to consider is that I still believe my memory as something that I factually experience. Other than that, the scenarios that I, as we define as the lies, are still something that I found are not reality. It's just something that we made up, right? People might think that it was a reality, but again, when it comes to reality, it means that we really did experience. When, for example, a lot of people probably in the future, when we experience in the future, hopefully, people question, what did you do 2 days ago? On Sunday, well, we had a meeting with Mr. Eki. That was the memory that I had in my memory. And that was a factual condition that I experienced, instead of saying that I can lie about it. Well, I met Mr. Eki, but it was in a party, but it didn't change the reality. It just changed the scenario, and the scenario itself is not always by the meaning of memory, right? People might think it was a memory of them, but it's not mine. So I just can erase it in my memory. So, oh, it was a lie. It was not real factual condition. So that's what I feel. What I thought. I still believe that memory of mine are coming through the factual condition that I experienced. Back to Mr. Eki.
Here, when the thing getting more interesting, because there is a two types. Actually, there's two types of reality. Okay, I'm going to show you this slide.
Sure.
Okay, this. There's a two type. There are two type of reality. The first one is the mental reality. Something that is only happened in one individual conscious. For example, I feel fear. That is indeed happen, but it is not happened in other people conscious, but it is happened in your conscious, and that is valid. And then the second one is the physical reality, the reality that all of us share and experience at the same time. So the reality is not always about the thing that we can observe together, the thing that is actually happening. It is because before the thing goes into the physical reality, the things need to begin with the mental reality. Because, okay, let's talk about like how we getting the information first. Now, this is how it does our brain perceiving the information. The first one is sensory organ, touch, smell, and everything, hands, see, ears. We gather every information and then we convert it into a signal by our body. And then, yeah, in this part, brain, we interpret this signal and create the meaning. At this process, the reality is already exists as in memory. And the reality is the mental one. It is valid, it is happened, it is indeed happened, but only at one conscious, not in every conscious. And finally, we perceiving the physical reality, the reality that we can observe together. Okay, let's take an example. What if I told, okay, try to imagine an apple. Just try to imagine, because, and then I will ask you one by one to tell me the exact scenario, the exact image that you imagine when I say apple. Okay, let's start with uh Miss Sophie. Miss Sophie, could you tell me what you imagine when I said apple? Describe the color, describe the condition.
Okay, anything?
Anything regarding the apple.
When someone said Apple, the first thing I think about is iPhone.
It is iPhone because
Yeah.
you have so like rich mindset. That's
No, I don't know. That's the first thing that crossed my mind when someone said Apple. Apple.
you don't
Okay.
imagine the colors, you don't imagine the size, you don't imagine the taste. You only imagine the style, the logo.
The tools, the brand.
Yeah.
Maybe because remembering how broke I am, and I never have an Apple product in my entire life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at this point, those imagination is happened in your mind, and that is real. Because you are the
Yeah.
one who created it, you are the one who experienced it, but you
I
cannot
see.
tell people it is real. You cannot convince us. So that is when it comes to mental reality. And then I try to ask Mr. Dimas, what is going in your mind when I said apple? Do you imagine kiloan? Like apple?
The first thing came out of my mind was the red apple. It was something that I saw from the picture. I didn't really, I was so poor compared to Miss Sophie, so I didn't catch up with the idea of iPhone and stuff. What I come out of my mind, it was a real expensive fruits, and it didn't really get easy into somebody else's dinner table. Yeah, what I imagined was it was a little bit like red, pinkies, and a little bit like orange, stripes with in the apple. Yeah, it looks just a very regular apple that I imagined.
Nah, and
That
then
was coming out of my mind.
what if I told you, but if I tell you, oh, that's not happening, you're lying. Can you tell me like it is not lie? Could you convince me it is not lie?
Why should I convince you with that?
Yeah, for example,
That's the
for
first
example,
question. I'm so
can you
sorry.
like you convince me
Mm.
that is not happening, even though you already imagine it?
Mm-hmm. First of all, I don't see the urgency of convincing you. So if you question me, how do I convince you with that? Is that come inside of through my mind, then you will
Yeah.
see what I imagined.
That is the point. Because one conscious
Thank
into
you.
another conscious is completely diverse. So there's almost impossible to imagine the exact same thing, even though we use same keywords like an apple. But if we ask 10 people, I really sure that almost 9%, like 19% of us will imagine it completely different. Like for example, the rich mindset will imagine Apple product, and us and we as a poor mindset, we imagine, the actual apple, the apple that we want to eat. And then the question is, it is real to you, the imagination, Mr. Dimas. Is it real? Is it valid?
What do you mean by what is real and is valid when you try to act as it was imagination?
Yeah, I mean, you imagine it, like there is a description of the thing that is already in your mind, right? And then the
Yeah.
question is it real? Is it valid to you, not to me, to you?
It's not real. It was imagination.
It's not real then.
That's not.
So the imagination is not real to you.
No, it's not. But if you say it was a memory, no, it's not a memory at all.
Okay, what is the definition of memories to you, Mr. Dimas?
Still something that I already experienced that I consider as memory. So if you ask the imagination of an apple, it's something that I've been seeing, but it's not something that I came into my mind. If you question me, then what was the last experience that you remember about seeing an apple? Then the picture of apple came out in my mind. It was different. The apple that I just bought from the food stall close to my company, then that was coming out of my mind. But when you say imagination of an apple, then I created imagination of an apple itself, not the memory that I have with an apple. So that's the reason why I said it's not real, it's not valid. It's just like how my brain creates the definition of an apple. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it just makes sense. It is indeed. It is a really great
Right, it does.
explanation. And here's where the thing gets interesting. The definition of memory itself is the collection of the data that we experience, or we already gather the information, then we convert into a signal, and then we interpret and create the meaning. When you imagine an apple, you already gather the information that with everything you have, you already gather the information, and then you convert into a signal, and then you create the exact description of an apple with the colors, with the size. And that is also considered as a memory because it is a part of the data collection that is collected by conscious. Even though this kind of memory is not stay as long as the long-term memory, because when it comes to memories, there is need to be something as a triggers. There is something need to trigger the memory to come out, but at this case, there's nothing. But at the point where you imagine, it is already became part of memory. parts of the data collection. Even though, I mean, aside from this is true or not, this is a factual or not, but this is already the data. And then, if you said it wasn't a data, yeah, it wasn't when it comes to the physical reality, because you not touch it, you not sense it, but touching and sensing is not the only thing. It's not the only way to get the information. Imagination also play a huge role. As long as you can create a meaning, then it will become a memory based on the definition of memories itself. But it can also be different to one and another. But if you talk in general, memory is a data. A data. I mean, it is not just about the physical data, but can also be a mental data. The data that is only happened in your mind is also considered as a part memory, because if we begin to look at, yep, this one. Can you see it? Yeah, can you see it crystal clear, right, Miss Demas? No. And then I'm really appreciate your opinion, Mr. Demas, because you have a strong principle about something. You defining the thing that makes sense to you. You already have your own version of definition about something, and that's really good because you could having a good life with that. You know, you will, because it's just not easy to getting to someone's mind when they already have the strong principle about something.
You want to get into my mind?
No,
That
no,
what
for
you-
example, no, for example,
You're
no.
trying to hypnotize me and take some of my money out of my bank?
Okay, I'll try if I can, but yeah, don't. And then this is where that's our understanding of the world, the physical world, not the memories, yeah, the physical world. I'm talking about the physical world. So the first one is personal experience, the first hand sensation. You touch it, you hear it, you saw it, you feel it. And then authority, parents. Well, basically everything that already shaped into your mind is one of your parents' contribution to make you understand what is the thing. And then factual evident, like research studies, for example, the antimatters or the physics quantum. Even though we never see it, we never experience it, but there's a factual evidence. But and then people believe in it, and then the reference books, magazine, newspaper. And then here's the things: belief. Can you define what is belief, Mr. Febri? Hello, Mr. Febri.
Yeah, yeah, hello, am I audible? Mr.
Yeah,
Asif?
yeah.
Yeah, what was the question? Can I repeat? That,
Can you
that was,
can you yeah, can you define what is belief in your own definition? Like what is belief? What is your belief? I'm not
oh,
asking about, yeah. What is the definition of belief in your own
what
definition? Yeah,
is,
belief.
what is belief in my own definition?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know whether it's wrong, whether it's right or wrong, but in my personal opinion, I believe it's supposed to be the things that we know before, and then we make it as our uh, baseline. So that's the belief, in my opinion, because we have already experienced that before, and then whenever something new comes to our life, for example, and then sometimes it doesn't really fit with our previous experience, so we don't believe it. So that's the thing that I know about what belief is.
Uh, that's a lovely explanation, Mr. Fabio. Anyway, thank you for put an opinion on this. And then let's move to Mr. I'm sorry, Mrs. Sophie. Did you ever, did you ever experience the cognitive dissonance? The cognitive dissonance is when your belief and your action is kind of conflicting. For example, I believe that is watching or playing a phone like for 8 hours or 12 hours is bad for my condition, but I still do it anyway. Did you ever experience it?
Oh, okay. I think it's really hard to answer because, yeah, I do believe some habits, it's not good for my life, but I'm doing it anyway. For example, scrolling Instagram for hours, or one of the thing that I always thinking about, I am too open to people, and sometimes I regret it because I kind of oversharing and I feel exposed. I feel like everybody seeing my vulnerability, and it's not good for my own good, but I'm still doing it anyway to prevent the loneliness, to avoid the boredom. I just really like talking, but I do believe on the other side that it's not good if it is too much. Anyway, sorry, before I continue, for anyone, if you wanna showing your opinion, please raise your hand. You don't have to wait until your name has mentioned by Mr. Eki. Mr. Eki mentioned the name because no one raised the hand. Thank you, Mr. Eki, for doing that. But for others, if you feel like, oh, why Mr. Eki not mention my name yet, it's totally okay for raising your hand. Okay, guys, just raise your hand. I think that's my opinion, Mr. Eki.
You often, every one of us is often face the cognitive dissonance where the feelings, the belief systems, and action is conflicting each other. And here's where the thing gets interesting. So humans tend to believe what they want to believe, and then humans only see what they want to see, and then humans only hear what they want to hear. There's someone's famous quote, I forgot to cite the name, but why? The question is, why did people did an action, why they did an action, even though they knew, they believe it is not good for them? It is already explained by Mrs. Sophie to prevent loneliness, for example. Could you tell me the definition of a loneliness, Mrs. Egalita?
Yeah, of course. In my 50, I think, like I said, my father said you will know it when you are 50. Yeah. When you're in the end of your life, yeah, you will come to the loneliness, of course, because you have like different perspective with others, something like that. And then your life also have so much changing, and you have to be wise, yeah, when you are realize that you are in the box of limitation. And like you said, everyone just want to hear what they want to hear. It's right. And if for some people, mostly if you are young, it's just only wisdom words, but in my age, it's not. It's the real reality is like that. Yeah. And but of course, in our processing, it's the most difficult, yeah, from the whole process, because maybe you will see that more older people, they are more quiet and more wise, right? although before they came into the process, they like happening something that really hard for them, because like our grandma, why you are feel comfort with your grandma before they are become a grams, there are will be a process that not ideal at all and not comfort at all. That's my mom said to me when I was too fuzzy about everything, and then my mom said, please simply your mind, but I cannot do it because I'm still young. But when you are get older and get older, the life will teach you how to be yeah, how to be more wise. Yeah, that's like more realistic, yeah, something like that. And like I said, you have to define what is realistic for you, and for others it's the really apa wise context that the like if you are dealing with others and you know they just only want hear or see what they want to see, right? And then you have to hold your thought, it's just only for yours, because um the getting we are older, we are it's expecting like harmony, and like you, yeah, like you said, loneliness is maybe for older people. Why? Because they have to respect many things in their life and their own limitation, something like that.
Thank you for your explanation, Miss Ekalita. And that's a really wise perception of you. And regarding the acceptance that you just mentioned earlier, about this, about the acceptance, I want to ask Mr. Abdul, are you there? Mr. Abdul.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're there. So I want to ask you, what is the definition of acceptance to you?
It's acceptance.
Mm-hmm. Accept. Can you define
Now,
the accept, the concept of accept?
for me, accepting is like the reality and what we believe. So we have to according to reality. Yeah, being accepting.
Oh, yeah, that's really lovely opinion. And let's move to, oh my God, you eating, Mr. Dimas. Can you share to us?
What?
Are you eating? Can I get some?
No, I'm actually trying to eat my medicine. You want some?
No,
Absolutely, if
thank
you
you. No,
want.
I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind. No, thank you. Yeah, good luck with it. Now, let's move into this. We need to remember that each person has a different set of eyes, different set of brain. If our brain are perceiving reality, and we each have a different brain, how similar are reality really? Let's talk about the case of blind people. Yeah. For example, if there is tens of humans and 8 of them, or nine of them is blind, and then there is suddenly someone telling them, look, there's a new person come. He's wearing a black jacket. Now the question is it real for them or is it fake? Since they cannot see, they cannot measure the color, they cannot understand, they cannot tell that, oh, this person is exists. for 9, this person is still not exist in their mind because they cannot see it. But in one person, these newcomers is exist because he can see it. So from 10, only 9 is unable to see, and only 1 is able to see. So at this point, can you tell me what is reality that is happened in those environments? Is it new person is real or fake? Mr. Sophie.
Yes. Should I choose one of this?
No, before you choose one of these, you need to
Okay.
put your opinion in blind people
Mhm.
case, like 9 blind people, 1 and non-blind people, and then there is a new person came to the environment wearing black jackets, and then someone asked these 10 people, is
Mhm.
the existence of newcomers is real? Hence, these 9 blind people, they are unable to see
Mhm.
these newcomers. They cannot
Okay.
see the colors. Is it real
Okay.
in the environment or not?
Okay. Kind of trick question, but I think Mr. Demus facial expression always no, no,
Yeah, he's full
no,
of
because
expression.
I think Mr. Demus and I have like some kind of internal jokes, so every time I see Mr. Demus face, I couldn't not laugh. Okay. I think if the newcomer asks the blind people whether the person wearing black shirt whatever or not, of course, using my logic, those 9 blind people gotta be wrong, even though they say it's black, even it's fact or that's the truth, but they're not actually true, but they're just guessing. They're guessing, and then the guess is right, but that doesn't mean they're right. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain. So I don't think I would choose on the blind people side in that case, because in this case we asking color with the blind people is totally the opposite things. Why would us believe something that they totally that that 99% get can be wrong? Why we ask color with the blind people? I think that does not make sense, so I choose to not believe it. It's that answer your question?
Yeah, that's answering my question.
Like,
But
okay.
in this tense environment, 9 said yes, he's wearing a black jacket, even though 9 is unable to see. And then 1 said, oh no, he wearing, for example, white jacket. And then this one person will be, I really sure that this one person will questioning these colors again, because when it comes to amounts of people who accept and agree about something, the answer will change the result depending on
Mm.
how
How
many
many?
how
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
people agree on this point. For
Right.
example,
Right. Right.
yeah, you get it right, like in
Yeah,
for
I
example,
get it.
yeah. So the question is to Mr. Hang on. Oh, Mr. Iqbal, I guess, yeah, Mr. Iqbal. What is happened if there is not blind, but let's just change into another, because this Mr. Jim is going to laugh again. You're so full expression. Let's say this is the perception of colors between males and females. So when there's a male says, I'm going to buy red jacket. And then when he came home, he showed to his little sister the colors is not red, but it is pink to his sister perception. And then you, as a third perception, who is the right one, who is the wrong one on this case, Mr. Iqbal?
Okay. Um, Actually, I cannot say who is the right one and who is the correct one because it depends on their perspective. I mean, like, if the girls has more knowledge and experience about how the way say defined or believe that it's a red. So yeah, how the girls will say that the color is red, and it's also the same thing for the boys, like how the boy can believe that it's pink or something. So yeah, it's quite confusing question and complicated statement as well, because sometimes like we believe that it's red, but another person say that it's pink, and I cannot say who is the correct and wrong one because yeah, what we believe and what we accept, it depends on how much information that we have in our brain. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, and here's where the thing gets complicated. If there's two perception at the same time, then quite opposite. You need to have a third perception which need to agree on one side. So when there is two people sharing two completely different experience or two completely different perception, both of them is incorrect at the point when we talked about the physical reality. Because at the point the event is happening, there is no one could say yes, it is red or yes, it is pink. But when it comes to a mental reality, both of them is correct because the man see as a red and the girl see as a pink. And that is why when people said, I believe that this blah 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 blah, and then there's other people said, oh, I don't believe there's blah 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 blah, both of them is correct in their own mind, in their mental reality. They're correct. They are valid. Because to make the thing valid, you need to have agreement. You need to have an acceptance. There is someone need to agree, oh, that is right, that is happen, that is exist. But when you share with the physical reality or reality that we can touch, for example, I touch my phone. I touch my phone. This is not an apple, anyways. I touch my phone. This is reality because you can see it. We share the same experience. But when it comes to a mental reality, I imagine right now, I imagine myself flying. The imagination of flying is already come to my mind and appears in my mind, but I cannot tell any of you this imagination is happening in my mind because only my mind that can tell me this imagination is happening. Even though this sounds like really complicated, because all of us, we have a different set of eyes, ears, mouth. So we cannot tell, even like me to Mr. Demas, we are both males. When it comes to colors, we can share completely different perception. And both of them is correct. Before, for example, Miss Sophie joined and then tells me, oh, Mr. Demas is the wrong one. And then the reality right now is my version, not Mr. Demas' version, because there's need to be someone to invalidate and validate these experience when it comes to a physical reality. But in mental reality, you the only one who need to accept and validate it. So to this point, do you have a question, Mr. Dimas, because your face is just like full of expression. You have.
Mr. Demos, you're mute.
Yeah, I'm still, reading the questions. Do you agree or disagree with some say the relative experience is just the brain best guessing at the moment? It can change during time. When someone say the reality that we experience is just brain best guessing at the moment, it can change during the time. Disagree. Should I explain?
No, you don't need to explain. I'm going
Okay.
to go back and then. Okay, Mr.
You're
Mrs.
going to ask
Sophie.
everyone, right?
Yeah, Mr. Sophie, do you agree or disagree?
It just person. Do you agree or disagree when someone said? I think I disagree because I'm the one who experienced. Why does someone could validate or has the authority to tell me that this is the opposite? I mean, I'm the one who doing it. And maybe we have some newcomers here, Mr. Eki. Maybe we can ask them too.
Oh yeah, there's like a lots of people in here. So Mrs. Ekalita, do you agree or disagree? Which one?
Maybe you mean that like blind people it like assuming like lying, like analyzing something like that, right? And like hypothetical cases, something like that. They didn't experience things, but they try to imagine some realities that can explain or can like refer to be like reference, yeah. But it's like something that to process your logic, something like that, your wisdom, mostly into like that. I saw it, and for me, yeah, for every time the argument or discussing, there is always approval and dissenting. You have to remind that, so you can respect people when they are the only one different. It's okay for the whole processing argument or processing thought, because the philosopher is they are never be a major when in their ages. Why? Because they see the different thing from their people. But why can they cannot validate at that time, but they cannot validate at the other centuries? That's the question, right? There are blind people at their centuries, but they are being realistic in the other centuries. That's the dynamic of the thoughts of human. And when I forgot the name, they are executed by the church because convicted like fake reality from the church perspective, and then the science validate them. Ya, siapa sih namanya terkenal kok, aku lupa. Cuma dulu aku ingat waktu aku sekolah yang tentang matahari itu loh, mengelilingi. At that time, he have to face the consequences of differences of him, because no one can see that he is right at that time, because they have limitation, they have the arrogance of truthness, right? In the big picture, I want to say that it not always blind is maybe you want to say the sensing, intuitive, or like lying, like when siapa yang creates Mona Lisa said that there is will be like pesawat apa tuh something like that, and in their ages is no one believes that, right? Because it's too out of reach, something like that. But of course it's not like that. I know, I understand what you saying. It's just like our reality, like now the simplest, like, right? But still we have to respect that when the people have the opposite or difference, like blind, right? Because in the law philosophy also, when it becomes to the value, you have to respect. It means when you come to the value of religion, yeah, not of value religion is the fact, but you have to respect them. Why? Because it's the valid blind. But when it comes to the fact and can be validated with the science and objective, you want to receive or not, it's also you have we have to respect you also. Why? Because like I said, in the process of discussing and argumentation yang healthy, yeah, you will respect the approval and dissenting is the equal. Yeah, they have right to have equality in to make the opinion, but when decide, yeah, they have to respect the majority, because um it's like you cannot like you said, you cannot validate someone that it's only valid for themselves. It's not fair for everybody, because yeah, maybe they will feel like, I'm imagining this experience, but why you validate it with me? If you forcing them, it will be like that, right? So I think you have to define the condition first, because like assuming or maybe like lying, yeah, like maybe when someone have theory and they have to, sometimes they have to assuming is like similar to lying, right? Because you don't know what is the aircraft is, but you have to explain, and there is no aircraft at that and that ages, so everyone will know that it's fake, right? But why it can validate in the future? Because it that maybe in this case their imagination can reach the future. That's the answer. But if it's not like that, it's maybe like mythology is lying, right? Lying stories. But you can validate them from the moral stories, for the kindness, for the positiveness, for the lesson of life, something like that. It's for your wisdom. It's not for right or not wrong. It's not like that. And if you are over cross that the right it's being the right from the person or individuality, you will make them like disharmony for the environment, because they can feel that they didn't accept it because they are different. In my opinion, it's like that.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. Thank you for your lovely explanation, Miss Eka. So I forgot to do a little demonstration here. Could you, Mr. Hu, I need to choose, yeah, Mr. Not Mr. Mrs. Miss Rojatul Jannah. What is happening right now in front of your camera? What is this thing that I carrying on, that I hold? Could you tell me what is the thing that you experience right now when you saw the camera, Miss Sis Rojatul Jannah? What do I hold? So I think Mr. Rosa cannot speak, then I'm going to ask you, Mr. Dimas, could you explain what do I hold right now? What is it?
A cable?
Yeah, I know. What is a cable? I'm holding the cable. What the cable I'm holding?
Mm, a charger?
A charger. Okay. Mrs. Sophie, then what do I hold right now? Mrs. Sophie, hello.
Yeah.
Still a cable? Still a charger
Yeah,
cable?
I'll have different answer that with with Mr. Damas. I'm gonna say it's a flexible straw.
It's a flexible straw, right? So at
Okay.
this moment, we have two different reality, even though we share one. Like Mr. Demus saw me, and then Mrs. Sophie also saw me doing the thing. But in my reality, both of you is wrong because the thing that I'm holding is a key. It's a
That's
key.
what I thought actually, but I
No,
lied.
no. So that's why I told you the brain best guessing is reality. So before I show the flexibility, Mr. Demis guessing the reality right now that he see is a cable. Then when I show the flexibility of the cable, then Mr. Sophie guessed this is a flexible screw. And then when I put like this became a key. So reality is just the best guessing at the moment. Like it always change. It will change. Then we're going to ask the same exact question to the same exact person again. Mr. Demos, you still insist to agree or you
Based on the question that you gave us about the key holder, still
disagree
disagree
because of, could you explain why?
because the information is not clear. Yet you still ask for the actual guessing for
Evidence.
us, right? If the information is clear enough, then the brain must absolutely have the exact
Same answer.
real data,
Okay.
right? Yeah. So, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, like it would change, but the actual condition that you gave us is basically still incomplete. That creates the wrong guessing.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Could you tell me what is this? I
That's
show you the
probably
full
Coke.
picture. Huh?
Yeah, that's probably a glass of Coke.
A glass of what? Coke.
A Coke. A Coke.
Okay, Mrs. Sophie, could you tell me what is it? I show you the full. Like, what is it?
Okay, wait. It's a glass of tea.
Glass of tea, and then Mrs. Eka, what is it? You guys always have a different opinion. I don't know why. Could you tell me what is it? Is this the
Because my
glass?
phone, it's not clear.
Yeah, could you tell me, Mrs. Eka, what is it? What is the glass
Yeah.
of?
What? The glass of tea kenapa tadi?
The one says Coke, the one says tea, and then probably you have the other options.
Okay, okay. I think is in my perception is it's like tea, but maybe it's wrong because I didn't taste it, right? I just see it with my eyes. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, but you already got the factual evidence, right? I mean, the information already complete. I'm not gonna change these. I'm not gonna move it. I will show. And then
That's
Iqbal
totally
Muhammad.
incomplete, Mr. Eki. As
Okay.
if you are asking whether or not it's a complete information, then as Ms. Ekalita said, you have to taste it because it's either because the color of the tea and Coke quite similar, then we need to try to another qualitative, testing to basically notice what is that.
Yeah, if
If I
I
tell
want
you
to,
glass of this, I think you need to understand whether or not it's made of glass or it's made of, diamond, right?
yeah. But the thing right now, I don't want to asking what is exist in the glass. But the thing is, what do I hold? If I want to know, if I want to tell people what is the thing that is exists in my glass, then I need to taste it. I need you guys to taste it. But at this moment, I just want to ask, what is this? It's not like what is inside my glass. Is it tea or coke? No, I just want to ask, what is this?
The
And then
glass.
yeah,
I think
the
Mr.
glass.
Iqbal was raising hand.
Yeah, Mr. Iqbal. Okay, Mr. Iqbal, do you want to put your opinion on this? Take your time, Mr. Iqbal.
No, I think the question is what is inside of the glass. So I just want to say it seems like a Coke.
Oh, there's two. I mean, it's completely fine if you define what is inside the glass Coke. Then from the colors, it look like cola, right?
Yeah.
The colors, the cola, and then from if we move it into like this, it more look like tea. But unfortunately, all of you is wrong because this one is it's a coffee. It's a coffee.
Oh,
It's a
it's a
coffee. It's
coffee.
Americano. It's coffee. So that's why. Oh dang. The things that we experience, that we all of our experience right now, is just guessing, brain best guessing, and not everything, not every reality need to complete the information from the first part, like feel, taste, hear. Because for example, you cannot hear the colors. If you want to make sure the color is real, then the only thing you can do is just see it, right? You cannot couch the colors. I mean, you cannot couch measure it. You cannot hear it. You cannot taste it. So not everything that has happened need to have at least 5 measurement from taste, from smell, and then from eyes. Sometimes one thing, if you want to measure one thing is valid or not, you can only judge by seeing it. Hey, go, there's live music over here. By the way, can you hear my voice?
Yes, but
It's what?
your voice is not as clear as before.
Okay, I try to. How about now? How about now?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, it's clear, right? So now the other question. I'm going to go back with the same exact person again. Mr. Zimus, could you tell me one thing that need 5 measurement of
Mhm.
tasting, smelling, touching, and then seeing, hearing? That one thing that need these 5 aspects to make sure this is exists. Could you tell me what is it?
Food.
Food? You cannot hear food.
Yeah, so I mean, like, what's the point of questioning me using 5 cents of that? Is that to validate the question of your glass of a coffee?
Is it to realizing there is a thing that only require one thing to make sure to validate the existence?
Only
Only
one
use,
thing.
yeah, only
How
for
do you
example.
sure that to understand that glass of coffee you have, we only need a 1 cent of ours?
Yeah, because I show you, right? I show you. And then the question I ask is, what
Yeah.
is this? I don't ask, what is inside the glass? And then here's when the thing getting interesting, because all of you guys try to associate or connect it with the inside the glass. You don't care about the glass itself. You don't care about the straw. You're focusing on the water, even though that is not the question I asked, right? So that's why when I tell you there's a thing that can be measured only with one sense. For example, a song. Only
But if the
measure.
question was for using or asking the actual inside of the glass, then do you only need to use one sense of yours?
If I ask, the question is it Coke or cola? Judging by the appearance. I don't need the sense of taste. But if the question is, what is it? Is it cola? Is it taste like a cola or is it taste like a tea? Then I need to have the sensory organ, which is taste. I need to taste it, right? So at this moment, at this very tiny moment, at this reality, I do not asking for the taste. I'm asking for the imagination that you can have about this. It is indeed a very general at this point, and I asking also the general question. So if you guys are answering like this is a straw, I'm clearly fine because I show you the glass, straw, and water. But yeah, because we almost 18% of our information based on what we see first. Then it comes to our mind that this glass of water, this glass of coffee, to be exact. That's why I use the word brain best guessing will be the reality. Same case like Mrs. Where is it? Ekalita. Mrs. Ekalita said that in the past, people used to believe that Earth is revolving around the sun, not the sun. And that it turns out we were wrong. But at that point, at that very, very point that this statement is spoken, what is reality? Reality is the brain is revolving around the sun, because almost like all the population, they believe in it, they accept, they validate it, regardless if it's true or not. They don't test it, they don't measure it, but it turns out after the other century, and then the other people test it, the other people measure it again, it changed during the time. So right now, it's not like you get the point, right?
Yes,
Mr.
sir, we
Demons,
got.
yeah, you got the point. And also seems like the flat Earth. I mean, in the past, the Columbus, and if I'm not mistaken, 149 like Columbus believed that this Earth is flat at that time, and everyone believed it because they saw the end of the world. The basically the air terjun, they saw it, and then they believed that is the end of the world. Even though that is not what exactly happened, they lack of experience, they lack of knowledge. So the question is the best guessing at the moment. It can change during the time. It just best guessing at the moment. It changes during the time. For it can change. There's okay. The question is now: is there anyone who agree on this point? Can you explain why? I mean, you can raise your hand if you agree. Should I ask one by one? Mr. Daddy Demons, you still insist, right? You still on disagree, right?
I'm so sorry. I lost my focus because I'm currently on my working as well. But yeah, I still feel that I got the logic that you tried to bring out, but still believe that in the sense of my understanding, still I wouldn't guess something that I didn't think it was clear enough.
Oh,
blurry or something, it's a little bit unclear or iffy in my perspective, then I will questions more. That's the reason why it also happens with the overthinker people. So that's the reason when I find out the little piece of information and then they are getting into one single frame of information, the valid one. If we consider the question of yours or the guessing, questioning of 1 sense of our using 1 sense of ours, then it could be just give 2 or 3 puzzle of the out of the whole frame. If you got what I mean. But
yeah,
if there is a simple statement stating that an actual condition where we only use the same sense of ours with the exact question and we get the same result of answers, then it will prove this statement. Because when we Miss Sapi and Mr. Iqbal already, thought the same result as I did, which is talking about the inside of the glass, then it means that we receive this same understanding of the question, right? But if there is another statement, probably can clear it up so that we have the same output. I believe I can change my mind into agree, but not until up to now, I still didn't get the counterbalance of this statement of those, the actual factual condition. Mr. February, my coach. Oh, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mr.
that's
February,
is right.
do you want to put your opinion on this? Take your times.
Okay. I don't know, but I'm trying to have the same thought like you. I finally go with agree with this statement. Well, basically, before uh before Mr. Demos, Mr. Michelle, Sophie, and Mr. Iqbal talk about that they disagree about this statement. I I went agree as well couple minutes ago because I don't in my perspective the things that we think it is right now, well basically it's not, it's probably it has possibility to be wrong in the future. That's because of our lack of information right now. Uh, because of there are no further research about the things that we experience right now. So that's why we think that, oh, this is right. Maybe in the future when people are getting better, they are really clever, and then they try to prove the things that we think this is right, and then they finally find it wrong. So the belief that we have right now is totally wrong in the future. That's the thing that I try to bring on my opinion. So that's why I go with, oh, I think it could be, it could be right to say that it can change during the time, the reality that we experience. I think that's it.
Oh, very nice opinion, Mr. February. Thank you for adding more opinion on this. So everyone is agree on it can change during the time, right? Everyone is agree. Mr. Dimas, all you agree on the word it can change during the times.
If I have to say, I still disagree. I am so sorry, Mr. February, but I think I need to challenge the statement of yours. If I have to, may. Still, if I question you with the time of relevation or something that we consider as the factual science, we consider this today as something correct. It's not by guessing, but it's something that is proven correct. It's not guessing. I think we can differentiate between the definition of guessing and giving a statement because it's not absolutely not true. If I say to you it's 9 p.m. right here, right now, can it be changed by the actual condition in the future because it just changed right away? 9 p.m. changed to be 9:15 or changed to be another exact numbers or something, is to be 5 or something, because there's something that in the world already stated the actual condition of it. And it's absolutely invalidation to prove if it's not, it could be changed. let's talk about something that we always believe it's always right, which is the existence of God, for example, or other things that we might consider, oh, it's already correct, like gravity or something else that people could probably challenge in the future, but still in relevance if we're questioning it now. So for me, my personal belief is that it's not more likely about guessing, but it's already giving a statement whether or not it's true or factual, true or not. So back to.
My question is who gives the statement? Who gives the state that it is 9 p.m. Human, right?
I don't get it. I mean, like, what is?
I mean, like in your place. I mean, in my place right now, it's 9:40. Who gives the? I mean, like who is the first person to state that it's 9:40? It's human. I believe it's human.
Sure, and then?
It's human. As a human, I believe that there are many possibilities to be wrong. So that's why I go with I go with a different thought finally because uh, like for example we say that Miss Miss Shopee t-shirt on the picture is yellow. Do you agree with that? Yellow, right?
Okay, hold me up for a second. When you say that there are several factors that it's possible to be wrong, give me the sectors.
Pardon?
If you say that the 941 right now that we experience the same or can be challenged to be wrong, then what are the sectors of possibility that you mentioned?
Like, I don't know. I'm not really sure because I cannot prove it right now.
Exactly.
But I will. Yeah. That's because we cannot prove it. So that's why we cannot say that we cannot disagree with that. I mean, we cannot. I don't know what to call. Well, we cannot disagree with that. I mean,
The reality that we experience.
by saying iron, in my perspective, the reality that we experience in this, like the example of Mr. X he said before, by what do we call? We guess the some cases like glasses and the cable, like we said before. That's because we what we see is actually like cable. Well, in fact, it was a key holder or what?
Exactly, because something first, when we see the key, the long just line, something like that, we require another observation. We were questions before even we begin to puzzle all the things to be a frame. That's what I mentioned before. When we already observe and frame all the puzzle into one single validation, then we can understand that that's basically a key holder, right?
No, if you say that, I can say that's still the tool to suicide, even though it's key holder right now. I will say that that's the tool for me to suicide. Can I? I think yes. It's really sensational topic, Mr. Iqbal. No. This is actually the way I try to. This is what do you call? I am now trying to have a different thought. Uh, Maybe
Okay.
basically I do agree with you, but this discussion is not interesting when people are having the same opinion. I think
Alright.
that's
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. February and Mr. Demos, for the perspective sharing. I think that's very incredible to
Yeah, incredible.
for witnessing that there are two different perspectives, and then we can really it's really interesting to think to many sides of perspective in one topic. I think I would love to give it back to the moderator, Mr. Eke.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for your facial expression, Mr. Demas. I quite enjoy it, not gonna lie, because it always happened. Like it always changed, even for a second. You've got so much in your facial expression, and that's a talent,
Thank
I might call
you.
it. And then anyway, thank you for Mr. February also. He already gave an opinion on this. But let me make a thing clear first. There is a two types of reality. It's a mental map, and the second is physical. The mental map is about the feelings. Okay, the question is, if you got heartbroken, yeah, and then if I ask you, does it feel hurt? Is it hurt, Mr. Dimas? If you heartbroken, is it hurt?
I think it's very clear. When you're heartbroken, there's no way that people will say, "Oh, it's not hurt." If people say it's not hurt, then they're in denial.
Okay, is it hurt, right? But the hurt, since I cannot see the physical proof that you're getting hurt, you're bleeding, you're not bleeding, your body parts still, like full. So I cannot like agree on the point that you hurt because I cannot find the actual evidence when it comes to a feeling. I cannot agree when it comes to a feeling because a feeling is only oneself can experience it. Only you understand your pain. I cannot understand my pain, but the pain exists, right? The pain exists in your
But
conscious.
then, can you disagree if the heartbroken is not painful, or it doesn't hurt?
It doesn't hurt for a people who already got heartbroken for, let's for example, 10 times or 3 times. It doesn't hurt. They already immune to it. It doesn't hurt because the pain, if you feel the same pain over and over again, the thing is will not become a pain anymore. It became the behavior. Like basically you love getting hurt. That's why you're heartbroken again. So there's two things. For example, okay, let's talk about the thing that that became common since you experienced it again and again. It's just not just like about the hurting feeling. Okay, for example, the taste of spicy food. Spicy food. For example, if you order let's say a chicken noodle level 5 for a month, and then your body system already immune to it, and then in the next month, the spicy presentation or the definition of spicy for you it changed. It will change because at the first time, yes, the spicy food is spicy to you, but if you already like experience it for a full month, it will change. It is not spicy anymore. You will crave for the other thing. So when it comes to feeling, tasting, imagination, this is also part of reality. There is a research. I mean, I cannot show the research because I cannot open the Google. There's the actual research that proves a scientific academic paper that two realities exist. So we're talking about both, not just the physical one. We are not talking just about the thing that we can have, we can taste, we can experience, but also when it comes to mental realities. There's this when the thing getting more complicated in mental reality. Because most people can see ghosts and most people not. So the fact that the ghost exists feel great. But for those who already experienced it, who already saw a ghost, they will strongly believe the ghost exists, right? Even though for us who never see or hear the scream of the ghost of Kuntilanak, for example, this still became a concept, whether it is true or not, because we not experience it, but the thing is happened to them. For example, me and Mr. Dimas, we both go to a sacred place, and then one of us encounter the ghost, and then if for example, is it me, the one who saw a ghost, and I try to convince Mr. Dimas I saw the ghost, but I cannot say anything. I mean, I don't find the physical evidence of the existence of the ghost because based on the stories that is often told, the ghost only exists for a while, right? So the ghost exists to me, but not for Mr. Demons, because I saw it. Even though this is part of hallucination, if people will call it, but still, I see it, and I believe I see it, and I accept I see it. This thing became my mental reality. And it could change. It can change if I see another ghost with the two completely different attributes. For example, if I saw a ghost which is Kuntilanak in the past, wearing a white shirt, and then in the futures I will see Kuntilanak using a black shirt. It will change the definition of my Kuntilanak at the point. So there's not only one reality that we experience. Yeah, and then the question is, go back to the question, for Mr. Demas, your lovely facial expression, the question of mental reality, can you observe it, your own mental reality? Can you observe it?
I will refuse the question. I believe that Miss Henny or Mr. Ripki and Miss Ekalita wants to speak more, because I think that I speak more than I'm supposed. So I
No,
give it to others to speak.
because your face is, so much telling everything basically. Okay, Mrs. Henny, from the mental reality, can you share the same exact mental reality with others? What do you think? What is your opinion on this?
Okay, thank you, sir, for the time. Actually, this is the new topic for me about, I guess that it's a kind of psychology types, yeah, about mental reality and physical reality. And based on your explanation that you said that mental reality is based on our feeling, and physical reality that we need the object or the concept of that. But for mental reality, yeah, as we know that when we got a broken heart, sometimes we got a hard feeling with this case, yeah. But I guess that I know nothing about this because I'm not from psychology majors, yeah, about mental reality and physical reality. But for mental, yeah, I need it's a comes to our feeling or our emotion, where we control like our feeling in one of the cases where that we have to face off. But in physical reality, we have the object as a real object that we know about this. But I don't know whether my explanation is correct or not. Yeah, I think that's it for my explanation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Henny, for your opinion on this. So this is already clear enough, right? Like there is a two type of mental reality, and none of you going to say, "Oh, it is only one." I mean, if you want to say like it is only one reality that we experience, I completely fine. Is it, Mr. Demas? Hi.
Yeah,
What do you think? Do you think that there are two or only one reality that is exist?
I didn't argue with the types of reality that people mention. So it's interesting to know that there is mental reality and physical reality. And I believe my opinion of everything that I already say doesn't dilute the fact that it's also talking about mental reality. So yes.
Okay, then this is a time for a question. Well, basically, the conclusion already conclude, right? There are two type of realities, and then we can share the exactly different perception, even though we experience one. And then the question is, because it's almost 10 o'clock, and then I need to move into the question. The first question is, hang on. I'm going to ask one by one, starting with Mr. Dimas, the first question, because you are the one who appears on the screen, right? Because you are the one who opened the camera, so you appear as a first. Then I'm going to ask you first, and your facial expression is quite, interesting. So that's why I ask you. Can we trust our memories? Again, the same exact question.
There are two questions that I have to answer, right?
Just one. Ask.
Oh, just
answer
one. Can we trust our memory? Yes.
And then Mrs. Penny, can we trust our memory?
Yeah, I can trust my memory, but sometimes we need to erase our whether we have a bad memory or good memories, especially bad memories. Sometimes we like to forget about bad memory, but I trust my memory, 100% trust.
And then what's about Mr. February? Can we trust our memory?
No.
Okay, so there is 2 yes and 1 no, right? And what's about Mrs. Sophie?
Yeah, I do. I do trust my memory.
Yes. And then what's about Mrs. Equalita? Can we trust our memories?
Basically, we can trust our memory, but for the details, maybe if it's like a long time, or maybe like we are, it's so human, yeah. If someone can recall the whole, then and they may make mistakes in the memories, like some misperception, something normal lah. Jadi, but basically yes, we can trust our memory, because like my friend said that when she is in 5 years, she saw the devil, right? And she can describe it and no one can see it, but the experience is very effective to her. And then yeah, as a close friend, and I her characters, yeah, I believe her. But for people that maybe didn't know her, or maybe they have experience with her in any occasion, and we can also said that they are in their perspective, they can have the different opinion with us. That I seeing this is like that. So about like agree or disagree, it's very specific, yeah, in my perception, yeah. Because I also experienced thing that at that time I didn't know that it's only me that saw something that's not exist. So I really thought that it's the reality, but when I realized there is nothing that can be validated as fact, I became understand why my husband can validate me, because yeah, I apa, aku sendiri tuh apa bahasa Inggrisnya, yeah, when I'm experienced that I myself didn't know that it is not reality, so it's like a delusion, like my friends, it's like delusion, right? And she said she really saw the devil, but no one can see it, not her mother, not her sister, right? But because he can tell the details and it's very affected her, I decide to believe her, because I think it's like a real, although I cannot see the same thing, but I believe her explanation, yeah, something like that. And when I share it to my husband, because he know me years, and he believed me also, but he cannot helping anything, right? Because he cannot see anything. So I more be wiser, yeah, about this, because I myself didn't like normally experience thing like normal people sometimes. And you more baby be more specific if you are dealing with the like indigo, something like that. So you have to take something that that what is it ya, it's like metaphor apa sih maksudnya, kayak enggak, it's something that yeah the fact sometimes can be relative, yeah, for some people, because experiencing for some, as long as they didn't lying, yeah, if they lie and they have some bad purpose, yeah, maybe we like, maybe like if you are pretending to be like dukun, and then you say this without the anything, and you just want to have bad purpose and deceiving people, yeah, you cannot accept that. But if they didn't have any bad perception and it really happening to them, yeah, maybe it's your decision to believe or not. And we cannot blame people believe or not, because it's very everyone have the different sensing or intuitive thereby themselves, in my opinion, sir.
Oh yeah, thank you for your lovely explanation, Mrs. Eka, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Ekalita. And then what about you, Miss Penny? Yes or no? Because the time is almost run out. What is the answer? Yes or no?
I say yes. I trust my memory.
Okay, so there is like 6 yes, and then the last person, Rizky, you trust or not? Yes or no?
Mm, yeah. I say yes. Do you believe that two people can experience completely different? Yeah, I say yes.
And then from this is 6 yes, and then 1 no. So at this point, so because the majority is the yes, then we need to not telling that this is true, but because hence lots of people believe in it, it became the thing that we need to agree on. And then if I add the other quote over here, if you have dementia or slash Alzheimer, if I'm not mistaken, it's called Alzheimer. Yeah, if you have dementia. And then you still in the same exact answer.
Of course not.
Not.
So
Yeah.
everyone is say no. Like there is someone say yes. Is
No,
there is
no.
anyone? So
But
everyone is
hopefully
say
we
no.
don't dementia. But I hope that we don't get dementia, because it's dangerous if we have Alzheimer, and it's totally different when we forget our memories, because it's a kind of symptoms that we cannot identify for several things. It's a dangerous disorder, yeah, especially for older people. But hopefully we don't get in here. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to offend, an old people, but yeah, when it comes to having something that is really affect the way of thinking, the way of remembering things, we need to at least not claiming as a true, even though this person with dementia can has a valid mental memory, but when it comes to physical reality, we need to observe it first.
You're right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So here's a big note that reality is something that we need to validate, we need to agree upon, we need to observe before make it reality. And for the record, memories is just not something that you already experience and then store into a data. Memory is basically connecting a dot. When you gain a new information, your neuron system is connecting each other, and then that's how the memory is formed. For example, the dreams. The dream is exist in your mind. The dream is real. When you are dreaming, the dream is real. And it is happened in your mind, but when you wake up, the connection of the neuron is gone. So after the connection is not exists anymore, the memories is also non-exist. At this point, I want to tell everyone in here that memory is just not something that you can have as your evidence, as the proof of something. You cannot bring the memory. The thing that you can bring as the proof or evidence is how many amount of agreement on one statement, regardless it is true or not, regardless it is happened or not. But as long as the amount of people who strongly agree on something, it will become the reality that we experience right now. Regardless the factual evidence, regardless the measurement by science, we do not care about it. We only care about how many people accept and agree on one statement. Right now, we believe that is Earth is resolving around the sun, and we believe there is only sun. There is only sun, and then only moon. There is one, but it will happen in the future. There is a possibility it will happen. It will change into two or more, because at this very tiny moment, we believe in the same thing. We accept in the same thing, but it's not. But it's not something that can last forever. That can last forever. I mean, so because it's already like 2020, 22 and 7.7, I think we need to go into the last station, which is this is this is the last question that I will ask for everyone. There is no truth, only perception. Agree or disagree, Miss Sophie?
Okay. Mm, there is no truth, only perception. Okay, I think I do agree with this one, because at the end of the day, we don't know like the right one, that even though there is one thing that all the people in this whole world think that is right, there's no like guarantee that that is the actual right. So I think I agree with this.
Thank you, Mrs. Sophie. And then what about Miss Penny?
I'm in between 50-50, sir. Because at first or at the beginning, when we saw someone, sometimes we make our own perception about the person, but after we know the characters or the person, we change our perception or our feeling to them after knowing the characters so far, the characters of this person so far. So I'm in between 50-50 about this statement.
Okay, thank you for your response, Miss Penny. And then, yeah, the one and only the chosen one, Mr. Demas. Oh my God, your facial
Yeah, yeah.
expression. You're not calling by
I'm
God, you're
working. I'm
calling by
currently on work.
moderator.
I'm currently working, sorry. So I have to tap and all to get back to the Zoom. Okay. What's the question? It's true that
Yeah,
yes,
this
yes,
is the
yes, no,
question.
yes, yes, yes. If you have dementia, uh, oh, so I just need to answer whether or not it's true that there is no truth, only perception.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes, yes, yes.
oh, I'll go by 50-50. I believe that in this world there are concrete truth and there are only perception. So it's 50-50. I don't stand solid into one stance only. Yeah.
Okay, aside from this is like yes or no, but yeah, completely fine having 50-50, yeah. Yeah, it's fine, it's completely fine. And Mr. February, what is your opinion on this?
Yes, I definitely go with no. I mean, there is no truth, only yes. I go with full yes.
Okay, finally someone full yes. Yeah, finally someone full yes. And then Miss Eka Sari Peasant.
I think it's depend to the situation, yes, sir. Because something if it's like a fact, like when people define like morning and night, I think there will be no difference with everybody, right? Um, if there is a blind people, there can sensing also at least apa with their they cannot see the morning, they cannot see the night, but because they have sense and intuitive, and they will be can sense the morning and the night and something like that. So there is the truth that a belief for everybody, because they are confirmed that is the fact that cannot deny or rejected. But if there is some divided, like some people say yes, some people say no, maybe it's like it's perception. And when you came into the perception, like I said, it's you have to refer to the attitude first, not the true or false, not like that. Because in this situation it's very complicated, like I said, because you have to be respect first. And I think I don't know about other religion, yeah, but in my religion, if uh, we are came into the perception, we have to respect and we have to refer to the expert, that the attitudes. So it's to reduce the impact of definition, something like that, so we can avoid the bigger disaster like hatred, like we are um like feeling we are the yang paling benar tuh apa, something like that, the ego, ya. So it's, if we are came into the perception, we have to be wise, that in my opinion.
Oh yeah, we begin to the end of our session tonight. Anyway, thank you for the contribution of Miss Egalita. And it is really wonderful. I mean, I'm really glad to have this kind of discussion tonight. And we close with with one statement that everything that has happened in this world, we cannot just simply throw to people, oh, you were wrong, I was right, even though there is evidence. To some extent, yeah, you can say you're not entirely correct, but I still disagree with you, regardless how many facts or evidence you show me. It completely fine to having your own version of opinion, your own definition of something. It's completely fine, but just do not, when we talked or arguing about something, we focus on the statement. We're not focused on the individual. We're not focused on who is speak right now. We focus on the word itself, and it can help you so many things to do so many things in life, and it can help you to be more open and respect other people's opinion that is really different than yours, because probably in his or her mental reality that has happened, even though that has not happened to you, but yeah, it's happened to them. So yeah, I'm going to thank you for trusting me as moderator for tonight, and lend it back to Mr. Sophie. I think all of us need to open the camera, I think.
Yeah, that's right. We come to the end of the discussion and with the photo session. But before that, I would like to say thank you so much for Mr. Eki for sharing our discussion tonight. It's really fun topic, even though some of us feel that this is a brand new topic to discuss. It's strange and it's kind of complicated, but I'm still thankful that you are bringing such a fresh one, so we could be able have a variety of topic to discuss. And for everyone, thank you for joining until the end. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for being on time at the beginning too. And please open up your camera if you don't mind. Show us your beautiful and handsome faces, so we could be able taking picture together, and then we close the meeting. Okay, Miss Hani, Mr. Rifki. Okay. Would you mind to open your camera? Okay, wait. Okay. All right. So thank you. Mr. Demos, would you mind to take a picture?
Yeah, sure. Let me take a lead, guys, for the last session. Let me help you guys to take pictures.
You have a
St-
pose.
stay-
Please pose.
Yeah, stay on take in front of your camera, pose, and let me count until 100. One.
What? What? No.
Okay, let's go. On 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay.
Okay, one more time.
One more time.
1, 2, 3. I can do other than smiling because you know that I'm holding Windows and PLT at the same time. Okay, one more time, last one. Give your best pose, peace, shot. 1, 2. What's that love for? 1, 2, 3, go. All right, thank you, everyone. That's the 3 photos for you. We'll share it into the group. Thank you. Back to Miss Sophie.
Mr. Demos, thank you so much, Mr. Eki, Mr. Febri, Miss Ekalita, and Mr. Rifki. Thank you, guys. Bye.
You guys, thank you.
Thank
Good
you.